There's a couple things that we wanted to bring to light tonight, and one of the first things that we want to talk about is an incident that happened on the 4th of July, approximately 10 o'clock at night during the fireworks. And we have a diagram, actually a map up on the screens so people can see. I thought it was important we had something like this so you could see the magnitude of what happened and actually the magnitude of what could have happened. First thing we'd like to do is actually present some people with commendations. We normally don't have a lengthy presentation for commendations. Those happen quite frequently at the department, but this is something that I think is noteworthy. So on the 4th of July this past year, we had hundreds of spectators lined the streets for the fireworks, all through the front yards and sidewalks. If anybody's been there, you know that it can get very, very crowded. So 10 o'clock at night, it's pretty dark. The only lights you have basically are street lights, and then the lights of some people throwing fireworks or lighting sparklers or whatever they're doing. And if you can follow the diagram that's in front of you, we'll start kind of left to right. And if you see the truck and Officer Dillman's name, Officer Dillman, who was on foot, he was stationed at Burns and William Street. He observed a truck driving erratically through the neighborhood at a very high rate of speed. Officer Dillman was able to radio the incident to the other units in the area. He attempted to get the truck stopped by signaling the driver to pull over. The driver of the truck drove directly at Officer Dillman, who had to jump out of the way in order to avoid being struck. The truck continued traveling at a high rate of speed onto Ritchie Drive, driving through front yards and streets that were crowded with spectators, causing one minor injury during that time. Officer Callahan and Officer Hogston were stationed nearby and observed the truck as it was traveling radically on Ritchie Drive. They knew there was a problem, and they ran towards the truck and the crowd in order to render aid to anybody that was in need. Sergeant Branham jumped into his cruiser, activated his lights and siren so that he could alert as many people as possible that were in the area of the potential danger. It was his intention also to try to bring the driver's actions to an end by conducting a traffic stop. However, the truck did not stop and continued towards Detective Lawson. If you can see, Detective Lawson's position is right where the road closed sign is at. The truck approached Detective Lawson's location at Cottage and North Alex, where it crashed through the road closed barricade. The truck continued on North Alex Road, where there were several hundred more spectators watching the fireworks. Detective Lawson quickly jumped into his patrol car in an attempt to stop the actions of the truck. The truck continued traveling erratically at a high rate of speed, heading southbound on North Alex Road, and was heading right for Officer Holtrip, who was stationed at Alex and Bowman Lane. The truck then turned abruptly onto Terrence Court, which is a cul-de-sac, where the suspect quickly exited and fled the vehicle. In an attempt to evade the police, the suspect ran into a home on Terrence Court that was occupied by numerous residents. Sergeant Branham then pulled his cruiser in right behind the suspect vehicle and began to pursue the suspect on foot. When the suspect entered the home, he startled the residents, as you can imagine, causing them to run from their home. Sergeant Branham was able to catch up to the fleeing suspect and place him into custody. At this time, he was assisted by Officer Moore, Detective Lawson, and Sergeant Flynn, who had arrived on the scene at Terrence Court. From the time the truck drove at Officer Dillman to the time the officers placed the suspect in custody was approximately 2 minutes. Our involvement did not end there. As events were unfolding, or just after the suspect was placed into custody, Officer Callahan and Officer Hogston radioed for medic crews to respond to their location as they cared for the injured female and looked for any other injured parties that needed their attention. Officer Dillman, who started the whole thing, after almost being run over, checked his portion of the scene for any injuries to the bystanders or any damage to property, and then investigated another accident that the suspect had previously caused around the middle school. Officer Holtrip responded to the Taco Bell to speak to the owner of the truck, who was now reporting the truck as stolen. Officer Selman took control of the crash on Ritchie Drive and then assisted Officer Holtrope at Taco Bell. Officer Moore and Detective Lawson secured the scene on Terrence Court and began the long process of collecting evidence and processing the scene. Detective Lawson obtained a search warrant so blood tests can be administered on the suspect, while Officer Moore stayed with the suspect at the hospital and then transported him to the county jail. All the while, Sergeant Flynn and Sergeant Branham coordinated all the actions of the officers that were on the scene. In the commendation letter that Sergeant Flynn submitted, he states, "What I listened to and witnessed during this event was a chaotic scene that quickly unfolded in an extremely crowded location while fireworks were actively going off. What I also observed, all these officers handled themselves calmly and professionally and operating as a team to bring the situation to a safe conclusion. Each and every officer involved played a crucial role in this initial scene and lengthy investigation that followed. Each officer embodied the department's mission statement and guiding principles. As I walked through the scene afterwards, I was approached by dozens of citizens that were applauding the officers' rapid response to the situation and thanking them for their service." I think what makes this event even more remarkable, that through the reckless actions of the suspect, there were only one minor injury that was caused. The potential definitely existed for this suspect to cause a plethora of injuries, including multiple fatalities. Also remarkable was the fact that many of our officers involved in this incident have not been with our department or have even been a police officer very long. As I call their names, I'd like them to step forward. Officer Paige Callahan. Is she here on a call? That's appropriate. Officer Paige Callahan has 3 months of service. Officer Ian Hogston. He also has 3 months of service. Officer Derek Dillman. Derek has less than 1 year of service. Officer Michael Holtrope also has less than 1 year of service. He cannot be here. He and his wife just celebrated the birth of twins a couple weeks ago. So, Officer Bobby Selman on a call. You might be here by yourself. 5 years of service. Officer Jared Moore on a call. 6 years of service. Sergeant Alex Flynn. There you go.
Starting to work.
Yeah. 7 years of service. Sergeant Jeremy Branham. 9 years of service. And the seasoned veteran of the group, Detective Scott Lawson, with 16 years of service. Each of these officers has received a commendation for their actions on the night of July 4th. A commendation is to be awarded for an act that is considered above and beyond the call of duty or giving evidence of selfless or highly professional conduct by an employee. Their actions, both as individuals and as part of a team, were directly responsible for securing the safety and well-being of hundreds of spectators on that Thursday evening. They all represented the department with professionalism and distinction. Thank you very much. We are also here today to present Officer Maureen Flouty with the Exemplary Service Award. The Exemplary Service Award is given for an act or conduct which is considered to be outstanding. The act or conduct that was exhibited directly contributed to the safety of the public or the coordination and benefit of members of the West Carrollton Police Department. Could I have Officer Flouty step down here, please? You thought I forgot. No. In late 2018, Officer Flouty was asked to assume the role of Public Information Officer, or PIO, for the police department. Not only were the responsibilities of the PIO position new for Officer Flouty, having a designated Public Information Officer was a totally new venture for the department. Through this request, we are asking Officer Flouty to add the obligation of being our first public information officer to the list of the other duties that she carries out on an almost daily basis. As you know, most of our officers are not only assigned to road patrol, they are also tasked with various other duties and responsibilities. And Mo is no exception. Some of the other duties as assigned for Officer Flouty include serving as officer in charge of the shift in absence of a sergeant, being an evidence technician, and being a field training officer. Those are just some. So it wasn't like Officer Flouty was looking for something to do when we approached her with this opportunity. However, Mo did not hesitate to accept the new challenge. Not only did she commit herself to this new endeavor, she embraced it and developed it into an extremely successful component of the police department. In Deputy Chief Westling's nomination of Officer Flouty, he stated that since her assignment as the PIO, the West Carrollton Police Department's Facebook page has realized a significant increase in the number of followers. Mo's work on Facebook has resulted in generating a positive impact on community department relations. What Officer Flouty has done is to create a West Carrollton Police Department brand, and through that brand, she has been able to positively impact such things as traffic safety concerns, department events, general and specific safety concerns for the community, as well as recognition for the department and community members. Mo has put forth a great deal of effort in fostering relationships with local media, and through these relationships has facilitated a direct line of communication between the media and our department. This relationship has benefited the department by reducing the need for supervisors to communicate directly with the media on high-intensity or complicated calls for service, which in turn lets them focus their time and effort directly on the incident at hand. Mo's worked extremely hard to establish and cultivate relationships with the local media. What she's been able to accomplish through her administration of the department's Facebook page has been tremendous. She has served the department and the citizens of our community with distinction through her dedication and commitment to this new role. For these reasons, as well as others, and in keeping with the finest traditions of the West Carrollton Police Department, Officer Maureen A. Flouty is hereby awarded the Exemplary Service Award for conducting herself in such a manner as would be considered above and beyond the call of duty. Say anything?
No. Mo, you're not going to get off that easy.
Chief, Deputy Chief, I do appreciate this award very much. I appreciate the freedom that you guys have given me to just run with this and do what I want to do and see how it works out. And having the trust in me and the faith in me to put me out there and put us out there and make us all look good.
You've done a great
And
job.
thank you guys for not whipping out your phones and paying me back.
There'll be pictures.
I know.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Chief. Comments by council?
I'll start off. I worked with you a long time, Mo, and there's no doubt that you're a very professional person. And from what I'm hearing and seeing on Facebook and everything, you're the right person for the job. Congratulations for that. Everybody with the commendations, amazing job that you guys do every day. I mean, really, if you look at Russ here, the fire department, all of our officers, we hire outstanding people here in the city who are extremely dedicated to the city and the citizens. And us up here telling you how much we appreciate you really doesn't even scratch the surface. Thank you all for everything.
I would just add, we recently at Wright State University conduct a citizen survey for us, and both the police department and the fire department received higher marks than I think we'd find in most any other city regarding our fire department, our police department, and the kind of service that the residents feel that they get from you all. And that's a very good thing. And I know it doesn't mean much to hear it, but all of us are so proud of you guys when we are in other places and other meetings with other city officials. We're not ashamed to brag about our police department, fire department. They do a wonderful job, and everybody in this city seems to appreciate it. So please know that.
I agree with everything that they said, and Mo, you are the right person for the job. I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with you, but since day one, coming on to council and going to city events, you are so welcoming and friendly, and I thank you for that.
Congratulations, Mo, well deserved. And like Harold was talking about the city survey, I mean, the citizens were spot on. They're very proud of you. I think you're above national average on the ratings that you received on the citizen survey. It's recognized by the community, and you're all great examples of it, so congratulations to all of you. Thanks. And the Facebook page has been like very interesting.
And I'd just like to say for all of you who received the letters of commendations for July the 4th, I know what it's like back there. I live back there. I have my daughter back there, so this is very personal for me. And it's a crush back there on July the 4th, and what you did in 2 minutes was an outstanding job, so I want to thank you all for that. And Officer Flouty, and all that you do, probably one of the most important things, and you may realize this, is that the role model you are to young girls and young women that can look up to you and strive to do the things that you do and achieve. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Okay, so, not briefly, when y'all as police officers get up in the morning, you come to work, I like to think that what's first in your mind is, I'm going home tonight. And you know what? You make it safe for all of us to go home at night. And I very much appreciate the fact that that's what y'all do. Y'all put your life on the lines for us as residents, as people driving through the city. You know, you all will never, ever get the accolades that you deserve because you strive every day to take that one more step. And it goes for the firefighters and the fire department as well. Y'all put your lives on the line for us. You may not realize it. You know, that car whizzes by when you're on the side of the road. You got to save that time. Might not be the next time. But I just want you all to know that I am very, very proud of you all as workers and those of you who may live in this city, that the city really does appreciate you. We may have ups and downs with you, but you know what? That's life. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart. You all do a wonderful job.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agreed.
To the gentleman that got accommodations tonight, letters of commendation, congratulations, that was an excellent job. And I too, with my mom lives on Shade Drive, and I know what a mess it is back there on the 4th of July. It's unbelievable. It's not just West Carrollton people. We get people from the surrounding southern Dayton area that come into West Carrollton to watch the fireworks from the river. But an excellent job. Mo, you're the right person for the job.
Thank you, sir.
Your attitude, your personality, it's perfect. Also, this past weekend, I think the Sunday paper, there was an excellent article about Tiffany, was she a resource officer for the school? But again, accolades about the police department and how great a job she's doing. And there was also, what happened 4th of July was excellent, but there was another situation with the police department. It's been a few months now, but we had a bank robbery in West Carrollton. I've talked to Scott Lawson about this, but I listened to that from the time the robbery happened, and it involved West Carrollton first and surrounding agencies clear to Middletown. And I'm telling you what, it was textbook the way that all came to an end, and it was a perfect situation. If anybody ever gets the chance to listen to the recording of the dispatcher and the interaction with the various police departments, we've got an excellent police department. And I've been here 32 years, been here longer than that, but here on council. And we haven't always had the best reputation as far as the police department. There's always been a swim team, various things like that that have happened over the years. But we've got an excellent group of guys now, and the positive attitude in the community is great. So thank you all very much.